This is part 2 of the Black Sun Flicker. This is titled The North Gate and the Anti-Schwarze Sonne. So if the Schwarze Sonne hijack operates on the flicker and the interface, then the question is obvious. Where exactly is the lock plugged in? That's where the North Gate comes in. We don't live in outer space. We live inside a toroidal sphere, a living energy body nested inward, not outward. At the very center sits the black sun, the heart of the earth. Not a star of light, but the singularity itself. The 0-point seed, the Merkaba, where electromagnetism and dielectricity collapse into one. From this still point, everything breathes. Around it, 12 dimensions nest inward like membranes. The third dimension is the surface where we walk, with the sun and moon suspended in their own membrane. The fourth dimension lies beneath, the astral underworld. It's here where the siphon is locked. Right there. From the 5th to the 11th, each resonance layer folds inward, closer to source. And the 12th is the singularity itself, the black sun core. Why 12? Because every toroidal system completes its cycle in 12 phases. 12 tones in music, 12 constellations in the sky, 12 petals on the heart lotus, 12 gates of the earth. It's the full circuit of resonance returning to the seed. Space isn't endless outward. It folds inward. What we see above the dome is only the reflection of the primordial waters, the mirror of the black sun's depth. The true realms are nested inside. The sphere breathes like a torus. Energy implodes inward into the black sun, then spirals upward through the North Gate. That flow projects outward as Polaris, the one fixed star above all others. That's why it never moves. The living axis of the world. From there, it circulates outward and downward, returning through what we call the south, back into the core again, right? Talking about the toroidal flow. And so it circulates downward through the South Pole. Well, there is no South Pole, Josh. How's it doing that? Because this is where we live. There's an ice wall around it. A lot of people are going to push back and say there is no South Pole. Antarctica is just the ice wall around the edges. And in one sense, they're right. At least about the fact that nobody has ever truly seen or touched what the South Pole actually is. But the reason why goes deeper than flat Earth circles usually describe. The mainstream model, the Earth is a ball. So you imagine a North Pole on top and a South Pole on bottom. But in a toroidal Earth model, that symmetry doesn't exist. The North Gate is the outward projection point, the axis where the energy flows up from the black sun at the center and shows itself in the heavens as Polaris. That's the pole we can track because it's where the toroidal current exhales. The south, however, is not a mirror image. The pole at the other side is the inward return current, the inflow of the torus spiraling back into the core. And that inflow doesn't land on a continent at the bottom of a ball. It's dimensional. It's the re-entry point of the spiral folding back inward through the deeper nested layers of the sphere. This is why the South Pole, as we describe in geography, doesn't exist in the way people picture it. What they call the South Pole is simply coordinates marked out on the ice wall perimeter. Antarctica, it isn't a singular central point opposite the north. It's the encircling boundary, the membrane of this dimensional layer where the toroidal flow folds back inward. That's the ice wall. That's why nobody has ever reached the real South Pole. You can't walk to it. You can't plant a flag in it. It isn't a spot on the ground. It's a dimensional return arc. Antarctica, think about that word, is just the frozen edge of our world, the physical crust of this realm's membrane. Beyond that wall, the current turns inward, pulling back into the black sun heart at the center. So when explorers say they've been to the South Pole, What they really did was follow a coordinate system laid on the ice ring. They didn't touch the true south because the true south is not a geographic location. It's the fold of the toroidal current spiraling back into source. This is the piece that clears the paradox. The north gate is the physical interface, the projection point where inward becomes outward. The south is dimensional, the return current where outward becomes inward again. Nobody has been there, and nobody can because it isn't a surface at all. It's the inflow back into the black sun. The north gate functions like a projector lens. At the core sits the black sun, the lamp, the singularity implosion point where everything collapses to zero. The spiral of energy rises from it, and at the north gate, that inward implosion flips into outward projection. That gate is the hinge, the lens, the place where the infinite spiral crystallizes into form. And here's the key. The singularity is the same across all scales. The singularity at the center of the galaxy is the same singularity at the center of Earth. It is the same singularity in the center of your heart. This is what a Merkaba is, the center point where implosion and explosion meet, the still point of the toroidal field. From that zero, reality projects outward. You can hear it described in myth as the harp at the center of Earth, the harmony of sounds and frequencies through which existence itself is played. The strings are geometry, the music is resonance, the song is what we call reality. Gravity itself is the spiral, pulling inward toward the Merkaba heart, not as a dead force, but as the same spiral current that projects galaxies, stars, and you into being. And this projector pattern repeats at every level. At the galactic scale, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. At the planetary scale, the black sun at the Earth's heart. At the human scale, the singularity in your chest, your heart torus. At the quantum scale, the proton in every cell. Now pause and think, how many cells are in your body? Trillions. And every single one is a sphere. Why? Because each one is a toroidal projector, a proton, at the core spinning the same implosion-explosion spiral that bursts stars. Think about biophotons. Each cell is a tiny black sun, projecting you into existence directly from the proton. That's why I say we are suns made of suns. So when they hijack the North Gate, they're not just clamping a cosmic pole, they're trapping the projector lens of the Earth's Merkaba itself. The same pattern that runs galaxies, atoms, and your own heart. That's why the hijack works, and that's why breaking it matters. This is why the North is the hinge. The North Gate is the interface point where inward becomes outward. Every ancient map pointed to it. Hyperborea, Mount Meru, the Axis Mundi, the World Tree. And this is why it's sealed off today. It's not just ice, it's the node of the sphere itself. And the proof is still here. Compasses spin near it. Magnetic anomalies pull at it. The entire zone is locked under no-fly treaties. And I just want to say this. So, in my previous work, when we talked about the fifth dimensional beings bringing down the fourth dimensional geometry that created the two-dimensional overlay. Now that you understand the realms are nested and the fourth dimension is underneath us, they built this interface node right where reality meets. The Anuna, right, the fallen, we know, I went through this whole entire thing, tall whites, all the same thing. They've lost their connection, the tether to God. They are in the fourth. So why are they protecting Antarctica, all this stuff? Why won't they let anyone go there? That is where the frickin' interface node is. That's where it's at. But we can't just go try to blow it up. Their tech and our bullets, all that stuff will do nothing, which they proved when they tried to go down with Admiral Byrd in Antarctica, where they sent all those ships down and got their ass kicked. But anyways, we're going to move to part 3. And that will conclude this series. Have a great night. Namaste.